but so far, I think I'd rather do the resection too soon. And the key is if you make the lift, if the polyp won't lift, then I worry that there is invasive cancer. So if the polyp doesn't lift well, I stop. So we have stopping points. As I said, they do better. But the future is really this, which is endoluminal closure. This is Sergei Kentseboy, who's a Russian trained surgeon who came to the United States and became a gastroenterologist. But he thinks like us, like a surgeon. So he's doing this thing called the overstitch. And he's a masterful at it. So I've started using this in a number of cases. And they're doing courses now teaching the gastroenterologist how to use this device. So if I don't learn how to do it, I'll be out of business. You know, cancer's going away or going down, polyps are getting higher, I better learn what we can do. So I've started now. This is the last case that I had. My third case of endoscopic suturing. Here I'm doing an ESD. Here I'm a little bit too deep. This is in the rectosigmoid, too high for TEMS or TAMIS. So I did suturing. I did 5 sutures to close the defect. You come from one side to the other in the lumen. And then what did I do? I did air leak testing to be sure. That looked good. So I made 3 trocars and I test. And the last time in my second case I had a positive leak. This case I had none. And I've done 2 more since then. When I get to 10 cases with a negative air leak test, I won't do the air leak test anymore. I'll just do a water-soluble enema. And when I do 10 of those, then they'll do it and they go home the same day. So that's where I think there's more going to happen. And I want you to be aware of endoluminal suturing and the possibilities that will pose to us for our future. And I think we as surgeons, because we can do it all, should be the ones that are leading this field. And I think the cases can be done. Innovations occur all the time. I'll show you this one. I thought this was a very interesting case. That big fat guy had this polyp in his right colon. So I used a double channel endoscope, colonoscope. And I went around the edge with an ESD knife blade. And then I did this. Left channel biopsy, right channel snare. I pulled the polyp up and I put the snare underneath to get the flat pieces to be removed. It's been described. But the part that was innovative was I also used it to help me close the defect. I grabbed the wall on the far side and I brought it back and then I closed this with clips because in the right colon you cannot get the endoluminal suturing device. It only works on a gastroscope. We're working with a company to make it work on a colonoscope. So this big guy did not need a colectomy, which I was very happy about because that would not have been a fun afternoon. So the innovations will occur. That is our future, and it could be, for you younger ones, maybe your way. Thanks very much. Michael.
Yeah, we're men of the same thought. In fact, this all started with Jeff Wilson back 10, 15 years ago. But you really took it to the next step. And I'm very chuffed to hear there are Americans doing endolaparoscopic surgery. You know, really endoscopy development is limited in the surgical world in the West because it's dominated by a physician.
Right.
You're probably one of the minority that can do that. But in fact, you're talking to a bunch of audience here who has the ability to do so in the future because endolaparoscopic theater are all available in Far East. In fact, in some hospitals, like hospital in Hong Kong, every single hospital has endolaparoscopic theater. That means system that are available for you to do both endoscopy and laparoscopic surgery at the same sitting. So this is the trend. You are quite right to talk to them because if they don't pick this up, they're going to jack out.
Well, I'm just happy to see that so many now are more doing endoscopy than I think with the last time I pulled them, so it's good. You want any thoughts? Yeah. Yes. Everybody's learning. It's good.
I'm not seeing that because I'm using other possibilities that is what we receive when I'm speaking of endometriosis. When you have a nodule, we can do endoluminal wedge with stapler.
Yes.
Moritz stapler, for example. Or we can do wedge resection with endoluminal approach to localize, I'm lifting and stapling, doing a wedge, controlling endoscopically
And I've done that
the
too.
margin.
I think it's a nice method when you can get the colon aligned properly to do it.
Particularly true for the right column because we're an anterior,
Yes.
anterolateral, posterior feasible, and mesothelic side, it's risky.
Yeah.
So you mainly perform these procedures with the endonuclear. You use ESD or sometimes a very deep snare.
Yes, so I'll do ESD for larger lesions, lesions with high-grade dysplasia. I will do ESD rather than piecemeal excision. I tailor it. If I have an 80-year-old woman with a 3-centimeter serrated adenoma of her cecum, she's going to get a piecemeal excision because I just want to get rid of the polyp. But a younger patient with high-grade dysplasia, I'm going to do ESD and incur the more of the risk. So I tailor the procedure to the risks of the patient and the risk of the polyp. Okay.
Marcel, you are controlling your case of ESD with laparoscopy.
Yes. I compensate my bad endoscopic ESD with good laparoscopy.
So,
I hope to get better, but it is.
so why not to localize it with flexible endoscope and
Yes.
then resect and suture instead of
Yes.
doing ESD, right?
Yes, I guess,
Yes.
right, or a wedge. I guess for me, I want to push the envelope of learning ESD, and I think that the more technologies will come. I work with Olympus. We will see robotic arms someday in my career. So you will probably be excellent at this, with your transfer of skill. So there's got to be more to come. And so I'm going to try as much as I can to do endoluminal. And with the endoluminal suturing, then maybe even the laparoscopy will go away. Because I'll have a way to offset still some technique that's not perfect.
I've been to Shanghai for a training for EFR, endoscopic full thickness resection. Is that surgeons are taking out the endoscopic field and
Yes.
in this part of the world, and they are doing exclusive endoscopy, suturing from inside and closing it.
Yeah, I had one case, cancer in a urologist who was old, who just wanted me to get rid of it. I did full thickness endoscopically, and then I tried to use the closure device. It was my first experience, and then I went in laparoscopically. But that's going to come sometime.
You see, in Japan and Korea, they all done by gastroenterologists.
Yeah.
And these guys don't do anything. They just do the operation. They're paid like surgeon, basically. But, I think we surgeons are in a good position to develop those skills because endoscopy is a minimally invasive skill.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you take away the open abdomen theory from bleeding peptic ulcer right from the start.
Right.
So why don't we, as surgeons, equip ourselves with both skill, apply it to our patient for the best purpose of the patient?
And I think we're the best ones to make the decision about what needs to be done. And that's what I see when I do it every day, at least in America anyways. The gastroenterologists in America, they don't want this. They just want to do their 15 scopes and go home at 3 o'clock. They send me polyps that are tiny. Right, it's the insurance. Cost, insurance, and greed. Okay? Seriously. I mean, we know it all exists, so I just speak about it. Like, I'll move on to the next topic of, we know it exists, is leaks. Okay?
To go in this direction, in
Yes.
this way, do you think that what Robin Kennedy is developing, the flex technique,
Yes, yes.
that is interesting because it's preparing first the suture,
Yes.
it's done by endoluminal approach, and after the resection.
Then resect. I think that makes a lot of sense for contamination purposes, but we haven't seen that to be an issue. But Robin's a very, very bright guy. He's going to come to our meeting, ASCRS meeting next spring to talk about it.